Welcome back, beer drinkers, to another episode of the Alcohobbyist. I'm your host, Steve Trezza, and it's been a while since I've recorded one of these videos. I did actually have a sober month in February, just because sometimes that's good to have, and you know, for the health benefits too. So I chose to come back strong with a nice strong Imperial Cream Ale from Carton Brewery called Regular Coffee. Carton's Regular Coffee is from Carton Brewing, and that is in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey, which happens to be my hometown. So I'm going to try my hardest not to be a homer on this one, but I think it might be a little tough. Now, as I said before, it is an Imperial Cream Ale, and most of the time coffee beers are stouts. So it's a little different that it's a cream ale rather than a stout. It's going to give it this distinct taste. It is a whopping 12% alcohol by volume with 20 international bitterness units. Now this beer scores pretty high. On Untappd, it's got a 4.26. And on Beer Advocate, it's got a 4.23. So it's scoring around the same area, and of all the beers that I have reviewed so far, it's at the top of the list. So before we crack this baby open, let's read from the can like we always do. A classic Jerseyism is regular coffee. Here, when you order a regular coffee at any place you trust to make a pork roll and cheese, you get a paper cup of coffee with milk and 2 sugars, rather than a black coffee that hasn't had the caffeine removed. Side note, I drink my coffee black. We added a coffee blend from our neighbors at Fair Mountain Coffee Roasters to a high-gravity golden cream ale, contributing our milk and 2 sugars for an elevated version of classic plain coffee. Drink regular coffee, because running over our black beer with coffee is no way to get things done. So there you have it from the back of the can. If you don't know what pork roll is, it's kind of like Taylor ham, but we call it pork roll here in New Jersey. And if you don't know what that is, it's like this circular ham that you fry and you slice, and it's delicious. And look it up, you have Google. So before we open this, one other side note, they only make this beer once a year because apparently it's a huge pain in the ass to make and it flies off the shelf. It is sold out the day that it is released, and it is usually released around the new year. I believe a couple years ago it was released on New Year's Day, sold out on New Year's Day. This year I believe it was released maybe like a week or so after New Year's, and it sold out on that day. So without further ado, I think I've rambled on a little bit too long about this beer, so let's open it. Let's do that. Okay, I'll give this a nice pour here. Now I'm drinking this in a tulip glass. Guess you could also drink it out of a mug because it's coffee. All right, so at first glance, it's definitely goldeny. Let's go this way. It's not dark like most coffee beers would be. It's not clear, it's cloudy, but it's light. Very inviting. It's very cloudy. You can't see through this beer like some other lighter beers. I don't know why I just talk like William Shatner there. All right, now for the smell test. Okay, so it smells a little boozy, and it also smells kind of roasty, chocolatey. Yeah, I'm definitely getting hints of chocolate and obviously the coffee smell, coffee, chocolate, very similar. It smells like I want to drink it. All right, so there's the smell test. My mouth is salivating. I really want to drink this beer, so I'm going to. So, for you drinking at home, cheers. You've noticed I haven't said anything yet, and it's just because I'm really enjoying this. It does taste like a light coffee. You can't really taste the alcohol content in this. Doesn't really make sense because it's really strong. It's creamy, it's chocolatey, it's coffee-y. Creamy, chocolatey, coffee, that's what it tastes like. It's got a bite, a good bite, it's not strong. I mean, it is strong, but it's not, doesn't feel strong, which I guess could be dangerous. Yeah, this goes down real smooth. I think the more that I'm tasting it, the more I can start tasting the alcohol actually, the alcohol content, but it's just so damn delicious. If you like coffee and you don't like stout, this is like the perfect beer for you. It's a little sweet, it goes with the cream and 2 sugars. It's really unlike any beer I've ever tasted before, especially one this strong. That's good. If you haven't had any other Carton beers, I definitely suggest it. Boat is their big beer, but I really think this is their best beer that they've put out. It's a shame that it's such unlimited availability, one day a year, and if you're not around, you can't get it, and you missed it, and you gotta wait for next year. So I took a month off from drinking, which is why you haven't seen any of these beer videos. A couple months actually, because I don't think I filmed any in January either. So I took a month off from drinking for the month of February, and I chose February because it was the shortest month. And it's also like really shitty out and cold, so I mean, why not? Some people can argue that and be like, well, you can just sit inside and drink, but like, that's depressing. And I don't want to go out. I mean, I want to drink when it's warm out and nice out. Now, honestly, if I were to pair this beer with something, some type of food, I actually think it would go well with like a dessert. Maybe like a dinner, a burger. I'm pretty sure almost any beer goes well with a burger, right? Burger and a beer, steak. But I don't know, because it's kind of sweet. I think it'll actually go better with like cheesecake. It's funny because on all these beer reviews, I'm always talking about food. It's probably because I'm always hungry. I don't think I'm never not hungry. Next beer review, I'm gonna be having a meal and a beer. See how that goes. That sounds like a lot of work, like way too much work. I don't think it's gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Maybe I could find another cooking channel and then we could like collaborate on like food beer. Also, after a month of no drinking, probably not the greatest idea to come back with a 12% beer. Just saying. You know, people think New Jersey is just a bunch of like garbage and Guidos. And like, they're not technically wrong, but they're not right either. There's a lot more, especially in the beer world of New Jersey. We've got Carton Brewing, we've got Cane Brewery, we've got River Horse, Flying Fish, tons of other breweries. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now, but they're like all over. Nope, never mind. I was gonna say something that's not from here. It's from Pennsylvania. Yeah, there's a lot of good craft breweries in New Jersey. It's crazy to think though that you can drink one of these and start feeling the buzz. You drink two of these, you better not go for a third. That's all I'm gonna say. You can, but you will be wasting this beer because it is meant to be enjoyed and not to get drunk on. You know, I never talked about the mouthfeel and I always kind of forget about that. So let's take a look at that. So it's carbonated, but it's a little bit on the flat side. It's still good, it's not taking away from anything. It's smooth. It's just smooth and like light tasting. It's not a light beer, but it's light tasting, if that makes sense. And just so it goes down very easily. All right, I think there's about a sip left, so let's do it. That was good. That was amazing, actually. Such a good beer. Now, I said I wasn't gonna be a homer, and maybe I lied. Because to quote Beerfest,
it was the greatest beer in all the world.
This is hands down my favorite beer. This is the first ever Alcohobbyist. Gonna give it 5, that's 10. 5 out of 5. So, thank you for joining me. Again, I hope to get more of these beer reviews up. I don't know how well this one will come out because I was a little rusty because I haven't done it in a couple months. So I need to get a little bit more confidence back. I need to get back in here and just kind of get back into the groove of doing everything. Next week, I'll be drinking the most recent Game of Thrones beer. It's been out for a while. I believe it's a white ale. I forget the actual name of it. It'll pop up on the screen. So please come back and check that out. Please, if you like what you saw here, subscribe to my channel, The Alcohobbyist. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at The Alcohobbyist.